With your bead head secure, start by securing your thread to the hook, and once it's secure, snip off the tag end and then wrap your thread back to about 3/4 the length of the shank. And now it's time to add the tail. The tail is going to be made out of an orange dyed henback. We're going to strip away some of the looser fibers so that way we're left behind with the nice crisp fibers of the feather. Select the best looking portions of the feather and tear it away from the feather itself. You should be left behind with nice crisp fibers that we're going to use for the tail of the Copper King. The tail should roughly be as long as the gap of the hook. Once you've secured the tail up the length of the shank, it's time to add the copper wire. Double over the copper wire and secure it down right behind the bead head, and begin to secure the wire back down the spine of the hook all the way to the tail. By doing it this way, we will ensure that the body of our fly stays consistent. And once it's wrapped down to the tail, bring your thread up just behind the bead head and begin to wrap your copper wire up to just shy of the bead head. And once it's there, secure it down and then snip off the excess. A few extra security wraps will help hold everything all in place. Now it's time to add the dubbing. The dubbing will build up our thorax for the Copper King. Add sparse amounts of dubbing to your fly line and then wrap it around the thorax section of the fly just to create a small dubbing ball. Once it's dubbed, it's time to add the legs. The legs are also going to be made out of orange dyed henback. And once again, we're going to want the nice crisp fibers at the tip of the feather. Once you have those fibers, secure down the feather right behind the bead head, as displayed. Once it's all nice and secure, begin to wrap the hen's back around the shank of the hook, creating the legs. Once it's wrapped around a few times, secure it down with your thread and then snip off the excess. A few extra security wraps will help hold everything in place. And now it's time to add the wings. The wings are going to be made out of a white goose baya. Select two fibers relatively equal in size and then place them on the back of the Copper King. Making sure that the tips are equal length, secure them down on top of the shank of the hook, and then with your thread, carefully tie them down. Once they're nice and secure, snip off the excess. Now we're going to add a little bit more dubbing to build up the thorax where we secured down our wings. With just a sparse amount of dubbing, wrap it around just behind the bead head. We just want to add enough to finish off the thorax. And once it's complete, it's time to whip finish. Once your thread is secure, snip off the excess. And you have yourself a Copper King.